We're continuing on with our hot weather fragrances themed videos because, at least for me, it is around the corner. For some of you guys, you've been in it already, especially those of you guys down in Florida. I don't envy you. I like seasons, but I can appreciate that climate. And this video is brought to you guys by FragranceBuy.ca, whom we talk about monthly. So nothing new here. One of the best places, if not my favorite place to grab some fantastic new fragrances that make their way to discounters at phenomenal prices. Honestly, some of the best prices you'll find online. Let's be real. So all 7 of the fragrances I'm talking about today can be found at FragranceBuy.ca. And as you can see by the title of the video, it is very clear, very simple what we're talking about today, but not basic. We're talking about mass appealing niche fragrances that you can wear in the hot weather. Now, we could deep dive on what the heck mass appealing niche fragrance means, because that in itself might seem like an oxymoron, might seem kind of contradictory, mass appealing and niche. But to keep things simple, to keep things surface level, I'm talking about fragrances from what are known as niche brands that are creating high quality, relatively complex fragrances, some of which do smell a little bit different from the norm, but for the most part, they will be very likable scents. Some of them might run parallel to other fragrances you've tried or liked, but they're all technically from niche houses. So if you want to spend a little bit more money for higher quality, maybe better performance, not always the case, but sometimes it can be with a lot of niche brands, but you still want to make sure that people around you know you smell amazing and there's no question about it, then you can consider one of these offerings. They're all different from each other and they're all going to be linked down in the description. Let's dive right into it. First one up here is from Fragrance Dubois. Honestly, a fragrance I was not impressed by when I first tried it because I was expecting it to be maybe a little bit more interesting. But what I found is that while it is a simple scent personality, clean, masculine, borderline generic, it's also done really well. The quality here is good. This is called Solstice. And what I primarily get from this is a fruity, citrus, and floral fragrance. Lots of bergamot, mandarin orange, maybe some apple. It's a little spicy. It's fruity. It is bright. It is kind of mouth-watering in a way, and backed by some more spices and woods and florals. It honestly doesn't smell the most natural to me, but it does smell really good. It smells really well put together. It's just not very different. We have seen and smelled fragrances like this a lot, but it's good at what it does. If you're looking for high quality simplicity, it is kind of your basic fresh, spicy, citrusy, fruity, woody fragrance. Not much to it, but functionally it nails it. That is Solstice. This is definitely going to be a very appealing option for the summer. This next one is new to my collection and I've wanted to try this stuff for a while, ever since it first came out at least a couple years ago, and I just never got around to it. I love this stuff. It just really hits home for me, and I'll explain what I mean. This is from Goldfield and Banks, this little 50 ml bottle that is very cute, but unfortunately, unlike the other 4 or 5 bottles I have, which are larger, so it will stick out like a sore thumb in the collection, but the world will keep on spinning. This is Bohemian Lime, and I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard that it smells really nice. I also heard that it smells kind of borderline designer, generic, mainstream in a way, and I think it's kind of both of those things. Yes, it is a little bit similar to some designer fragrances out there. Now, for me, it's similar to ones that I happen to really like and have great history with, particularly John Varvatos' Artisan Aqua. I know that not a lot of people are drawing that comparison, but that is the vibe I get out of this. It reminds me of wearing that fragrance, which I wore a lot of several years ago. I don't have that anymore. I don't even know if it's still readily available. Yes, it is this slightly sweet, fresh lime that's very smooth. It's not super tangy. It's not super bitter or sour or anything like that. It's a smoother, sweeter, fresh lime, green, a little bit earthy. It's a simple scent. It's something to wear in the hot sun for a casual situation. Nothing super special here. Honestly, some people might assume you're wearing a designer fragrance. I'm just going to be real, but it's really good. I like it a lot. I think for me, it's just this nostalgic factor. So you may not care for this, you may not find it very special, but hey, these are all meant to be more mass appealing type fragrances. Some of them more special than others. And this one I say is maybe on the less special side of things, but it's good at what it does. And it is its own thing at the end of the day. I'm still getting to know it, by the way. Again, new to my collection, more to come on this one. Let me know what you think of this one if you try Bohemian Lime from Goldfield and Banks. Now you do need a fragrance to wear for the night. It's so easy to talk about hot weather, daytime fragrances in a video like this, but I'm gonna throw a nighttime curveball in there because yes, we still want to have a good appeal in the nighttime, but something that maybe you can't really get away with wearing in the hottest part of the day. I'm going with this one, which is new to my collection. I'm actually wearing it as my scent of the day for the first time, so I've gotten to know it over the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, and I've been really enjoying it. This is from Xerjoff. This came out 2024. It's called Louis XV, I think an ode to King Louis XV, and it's in collaboration with, I believe, one of Champagne, France's most prominent wine libraries called House de Vinoge.
I'm not saying that right.
It's a collaboration. Xerjoff has been doing more and more of these over the years. This is beautiful. It's very rich and complex. There's an intensity here. When you first spray it on, there is this bubbly champagne, beautiful, effervescent, bright champagne, maybe a touch of citrus in there. It's immediately sweet and spicy though, along with that freshness, and it dries nutty. There's some hazelnut in there, woody. So far, that's what I'm getting on my skin. It gets a little creamy, maybe vanilla. So there's a warm, cozy, nutty feel, and there's definitely more and more spices as it dries on the skin. Pretty intensely spicy for me as it's dried. Now today happens to be a mild day. It's in the high 50s Fahrenheit, so it's perfect for a scent like this even during the day. But during the summertime, in the day, I would not wear this. That's what I've learned about this, and that's why I made this pivot. I was just going to include it as another option, but I'm like, you know what? This is more of an evening fragrance. Not only because of the composition itself, it's a little bit richer, maybe a little bit more intense, and maybe too much for the heat, but just the personality, it just begs a more upscale occasion in the evening. If you like Ouden from Xerjoff, it's not exactly like that, but it is along those lines. You'll probably like this if you like Ouden. I would definitely call it a more complex, more intense Ouden, but not necessarily strong. I find it to be kind of sitting close to me. I'm getting wafts over the course of the hours, but it's not filling the space, which is fine because if it did, it might be kind of disgusting. Anyway, let me know if you've tried this one. I'm sure maybe a couple of you guys have. Louis XV from Xerjoff. Another fragrance I was a little disappointed in when I first tried it, but I learned, you know what, it is well put together. It does have some decent function to it. I was just expecting something a little bit more interesting. Once again, this is from Acqua de Parma. It is the new and improved, so to speak, Colonia C.L.U.B. The original Colonia C.L.U.B came in this green bottle. I tried that once or twice over the years. I don't know if it's still made anymore. That was a very minty, fresh fragrance from what I remember. This is nothing really like that. It is kind of fresh, herbal, minty in a way. I think there's lots of shiso in here, which is a minty nuance, but overall it is this kind of smooth, fresh, spicy, lightly sweet fragrance that reminds me of a lot of designers, particularly Armani Code, but with more nuance and maybe a higher quality than that. The different blend of ingredients in here, especially odd ones like shiso, make it a little bit outside of the lines of mainstream, but when you get a whiff in the air without knowing any of the notes, because none of that matters once it's on your skin, especially to the average person passing by, it's just going to smell pleasant. It's going to smell a little sweet, a little fresh, maybe spicy, clean, maybe will smell like a designer fragrance. I'm just being honest. Some of you guys will enjoy it because it's an easy wear. Some of you will be a little disappointed like me at first because you're expecting more from Acqua de Parma, but in wearing it a couple times, I like it. It does have function. Definitely good for the hot weather when you just want to be pleasing. That is Colonia C.L.U.B from Acqua de Parma. This next one is not really on the verge of being generic to me. This one has a little bit more depth to it. Might be a little bit more particular. Some guys may not take to this because it might smell a little bit mature, but overall I think it's a very likable and wearable fragrance for the young guy or middle-aged guy or whatever who just wants to have a professional vibe, who wants to have people take them seriously. From Creed, it's Viking Cologne. When I first tried this, I didn't like it at all. I tried it when it came out a few years back. It was puzzling. It was head-scratching to me, but I didn't realize that this bottle needed time to sit. It needed time to think about who it is and what it wants to be in the world, how it wants to live in the world, and what kind of impact it wants to have on people. It sat and it thought in the dark, in isolation, and it emerged a new man. It emerged the truest form of itself. And it has this richness to it. It has a personality that is tied to the original Viking, because before it just smelled like toilet cleaner to me. But now it smells like Viking, but they removed some elements. It's a little bit less encumbered. It smells just fresher, maybe more modern. It's still this fresh, spicy citrus, very clean, herbal and mossy. It has this easygoing vibe to it, Very bright, but again, a little bit more serious, a little bit more sophisticated. And that's what I love about it. I love to wear this when I'm going to dress up a little bit more, maybe collared shirt, maybe lunch date, maybe just some kind of get together with friends where we're not just completely casual. I love this in the heat, and it's really grown on me over the years. I'm happy I kept the bottle. Let me know what you think of Creed Viking Cologne. From Roja Parfums, I could say this with any of these fragrances. If you overspray this one, you're not gonna like it. When you spray it once or twice, or maybe even 3 times, you get a whiff and you're like,
That's really nice.
once you hit that 4 or 5 and more, oof, it gets real weird and a little too floral and kind of sickly. Speaking from experience, take my word for it. This is from Roja Parfum. It's Oceania. This is a beautiful fragrance that doesn't smell like the ocean. It does have this subtle ocean air feel, not salty, but if you can imagine the wind over the ocean. It doesn't smell like the water itself. There is this fresh, airy, under the sun feel as if you're out on a boat or a yacht. Citruses, lots of florals, and it's the florals in here that could go the wrong way if you spray too much. They get a little too powdery, and once this thing gets super powdery, forget about it. Under the sun with some heat, it's going to intensify, so less is more with this one. I might spray no more than 3 sprays if I know I'm going to be mostly outside. I might even just do 2 because the sun is going to intensify it, especially those florals, and powdery notes get more powdery when heat is involved. So keep that in mind. Don't go crazy on this one because you're going to smell it and be like, oh, this is so good. And you're going to want to douse yourself and you're going to regret it. Do not douse yourself. This one is a little sensitive, but beautiful. So well constructed. Great quality stuff. Expensive. It's not cheap. Keep that in mind. This is pricey stuff. So you got to be sure. If you want to smell classy, yet easygoing, fresh, and very approachable in the daytime, this is great stuff. Roja Parfum Oceania. And our last fragrance is kind of an oldie, but a goodie. It's actually new to my collection. I smelled it in sample form years ago, have overlooked it ever since, finally decided to come back around to it because over the years I've seen many people saying this is their favorite from the house, and that house is Parfums de Marly. And I haven't gotten a new Parfums de Marly in some time. I haven't truly been inspired or moved by the house to really keep up with all their latest releases, but I decided to dig back to this old one. It's probably been out 10 years at this point. It's very attractive, it's very versatile, and it's a little different. It's not your just straight up shower gel fragrance. It's not super unique, but it's really well done for what it is, and I see why you guys dig this one. The white bottle, Galloway pepper, lots of spice blended with this soft, pillowy, fresh musk. It smells like a pillow to me, but a spicy pillow that is very soft. There is this just elegant guy vibe to it. It just clean guy is what I get. It's like almost clean clothing, freshly showered, freshly shaven, white t-shirt. It's so easy. It just kind of blends with you. It doesn't just smell like super noticeable scent profile. You just smell clean. People may not even say, man, your fragrance smells good. They'll just be like, man, you smell nice, or your vibe is just clean and approachable, and I just like being around you. I don't know why, but what is it? And you're gonna be like, it's Galloway, and they're gonna be like,
the heck is Galloway?
And then it got awkward. Why did you say that? Anyway, I don't have much more to say about Galloway. I know a lot of you guys know this one already. I think it's a great option for pretty much daily wear. If you love it, it could work for any occasion throughout the summer, maybe throughout the year, but hot weather, I plan on giving this some good wear, especially when I don't really know what else to wear. I think it'll be a great option for that. So that is Galloway from Parfums de Marly. That is our last pick here. Once again, you can find all these fragrances at fragrancebuy.ca. There's going to be links below the like button. Hit that like button on your way down there if you've made it this far, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.